Wolf, who has covered. I know that's not your priority these days, but you have had a lot of insight on the Miami Dolphins. So why not? Let's start there.
Yes,
For
sir.
week 8, man, Cam, those Dolphins, those fighting Miami Dolphins, actually outed my guy CCAT. They exited him from our survivor pool. He made it to
Ah,
week 8, and he doubted the Dolphins. How could he do that?
I know why. I understand why. There was plenty of reason why I understood, but they did what you said. They had fight. Like I think a lot of people wondered with all the rumors about Mike McDaniel's job, with all the talk about Tua and what he's saying, what he's doing, would they just throw the towel in? Would that be it for the season? Especially how they played in Cleveland. They didn't. They played with the best fight I've seen all year. Tua played the best game he played all year, and the defense finally showed up. Now, is that a one game blip? Or is this the start of a turnaround? I think that's the big question. And it's funny because they play a Ravens team who also has struggled a lot. They get their starting quarterback back in Lamar Jackson, and they're thinking the same thing. This is the start of a new push for us. So essentially, it's a little bit of an elimination game. Which one had the fake blip win, and which one's moving towards correcting a slow start for the season?
The Dolphins beat the Falcons. They didn't just beat them; they bludgeoned them, 34-10. Tua Tagovailoa, 20 for 26, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns, but most importantly, Cam, 0 interceptions.
Yep.
Like that's the kind of steady play that we knew out of Tua in the years where things were good. What changed? What the heck happened? Because the Falcons entered this game as one of the best pass defenses in the league, and I know that because I benched Tua in my fantasy football league.
Yes. So a couple things changed. One, Tua got the ball out of his hand the fastest he has all season. His time to throw was the quickest it's been. He played with a level of decisiveness that they haven't had previously. It's kind of the old Tua, where you get the ball out, 3-step, ball's coming out. I'm getting it to a speed guy and his playmaking, right? And a part of that goes to the second element. Their offensive coordinator, Frank Smith, moved down to the field for the first time this season. He had been in the booth, and I talked to a few guys in the locker room about 30 minutes ago, and I was like, what's the real impact of that? They said the communication. And like every time we're coming off the field, he's telling us something individual that he saw in our game that's helping us tweak, and we're able to play faster. Instead of waiting to the last second of the play clock, we're able to have some confidence in knowing, hey, this is how we adjust when this happens. So they said they're not letting him go back to the booth. They say they might tackle him if he try to go back up to the booth. And same for Tua's visor. There's a lot of jokes the guys told me about Tua in his eye. They would not let him go. But they did say he got to play with that visor. If not, they're gonna grab his helmet and put it on themselves.
Yeah, look, that's the funny. The funny thing is, and we're howling with the Wolf here, Cam Wolf from NFL Network. It's funny how that works because it kind of becomes a superstitious thing. I think Allen Iverson, one of your favorite players of all
Yep.
time, he started wearing the sleeve, I believe, because it was like an elbow injury,
Yep,
and he kept
absolutely. It
it,
was the
and
elbow.
he
You
kept it.
got to keep it. You can't
Yeah,
mess up the energy. You know how it is. You're a football fan, you're a basketball fan. If you sitting on a certain part of the couch, your team start balling, you're gonna stay on that part of the couch. It's whatever gets you in the mental state of, even if it's not real, it's a placebo effect. We played the best, we had the best energy when you did that. So don't mess up the juju. Let's
yeah.
stay with this vibe.
So speaking of vibes, you were just in the locker room talking with the Dolphins players. You heard them speak at the podiums as well. What are the vibes around there now? Because of course you have a game. Like it's funny, you
Yeah.
have a game that feels like you win against the Falcons, you're dominant, and you reclaim a bit of hope for your season. But now you have the short turnaround, and you got to play a desperate Ravens team who I believe last time these two faced off, didn't Lamar kind of tear them up?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's homecoming too.
Yeah.
Lamar, Zay Flowers, all these guys got a homecoming coming to South Florida, and they want to put on a show. They got the people in the crib. Your high school people, your family, your mama might be in the crib. You don't want to not embarrass your mama. She tell her friends all week. My baby coming in, playing at home. So there's the extra factor there. But I'll tell you this: leaving the locker room, it was the loosest I've seen them all season. They had a certain, okay, we can breathe now. Like they, from the first game when they got blown out by the Colts, it's been, them trying to tread water. And I think for the first time they were like, okay, we can breathe. And so I think it's almost a benefit that they have a short week because they can keep flowing off that energy they played. Now, the Ravens are a lot different team than with Lamar. The Ravens are a lot different
Yeah.
team than the Falcons. So let's get that straight. You're not playing Kirk Cousins anymore on defense. You're playing the two-time MVP, Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers, a team that has some guns. So they're going to have to take it up a notch, but having the confidence, like you said, against a number one passing defense, playing the way they did, having a defensive effort where they stopped Bijan, the guy we were talking about for MVP candidate the week before. They held him down in a way that people have not held him down. I think that gives them some confidence that, this isn't just a 1 week thing.
Howling with the Wolf here, or theoretically speaking, on a Tuesday ahead of a Thursday night football showdown between the Ravens and the Dolphins at Hard Rock Stadium. He'll be there. He's right there right now. But let's take it a little bit grander scope of the league now. We're 8 weeks in. We're 8 weeks in. I, for one, did not think the Colts would be anything, and they are the one that have proven me the most wrong from what I thought they would be versus what they are, based on the juggernaut of an offense. I mean, this is the best offense when you talk about scores per drive, 3.5 points per drive since the clock turned 2000. Ooh. I'm not talking about just best Colts offense. I'm talking about best offense in NFL history since 2000 on points per drive, 3.5 points. That's crazy. Cam, what has been the biggest thing that has shocked you 8 weeks into this NFL season? Because for me, it's Daniel Jones and those Colts.
Yeah, the Colts definitely are a top candidate, right? Because I think we were talking more about Shane Steichen's job security early in the year, and now he probably should be coach of the year. And so it's crazy how things change. He's made Daniel Jones a top 5 quarterback, Jonathan Taylor in the MVP race. And so the Colts are a great choice. But for me, I'm going to go to New England Patriots because they're 6-2. They've already beat the Bills. They're leading the AFC East. And we talk about MVP candidates every week. Drake May is probably an MVP candidate. Like, if you look at his numbers, he's doing things that people haven't done outside of MVP players, like Peyton Manning, like Lamar Jackson, like Patrick Mahomes. We're talking about guys who have had 200-plus passing yards, 100 quarterback rating in 7 straight games. Like, he's been consistent. He's throwing that deep ball. And the Patriots have a certain energy about them with Mike Vrabel that they haven't had in a long time. And so we saw spurts of this from Drake, but this version of it, he looks like he can be elite. Not there yet consistently, but he looks like he can be one of those dudes that we eventually talk about in the same breath as a Patrick Mahomes, as a Josh Allen, as a Lamar Jackson, as a Joe Burrow. Like, he could enter that group based off what we've seen. They play tough. They play physical. I'm actually going up there Sunday. I've got a double duty this week. TNF, Dolphins, Ravens, and then going to New England where they play the Patriots or where they play the Falcons. And so I'm really eager to see that team up close because I think we thought they were a year or two away from making some noise, but why can't they be a playoff team, a team that can compete for the AFC East in year one?
That's crazy, man. To see that Patriots team go, that's going to be one of the bigger turnarounds we've had in a while from, I believe, was it 2 or 3 wins last year?
Yeah, they were a 3-1 team. They were one of the worst teams in football, picking in the top 5, and now they got one of the best records in football.
Yeah. They got to keep Drake May upright. 5 sacks to Myles Garrett, not going to get it done, but that's why they call him Myles Garrett. I mean, he's different.
Yep. Hey, man, that money moves different. Somebody was texting me recently about feeling bad for Myles Garrett. I was like, don't feel bad for Myles Garrett. Hey, he's getting 5 sacks, and he's getting a boatload of money. Hey, winning is great. Money and sacks are better.
Look, I'll be honest. I know Myles Garrett is the ultimate competitor, and I know he hates losing. I think a little bit of that was a little performative on Sunday because I'm like, dude, you're having one of the games of your life. I know y'all are getting blown out.
Yeah.
And you got a $40+ million contract to go home to.
Yeah.
Nobody's buying.
Come on, man. Talking about I would give all of this up for a win. No, you would not.
Get the hell out of here.
No, you would not. Don't even lie to us. You give up a 5-sack? No.
Come on. He has to say that, though. He has to say that. That's what he's supposed to say. He knows that's what he's supposed to say. But we don't believe it.
Stop lying to us.
Cam Wolfe joining us here. We are Howling with the Wolf on ESPN 106.3 NFL Network Reporter. You can find him on Twitter and Instagram at Cameron Wolfe, where he provides you with all of the details around the NFL. I want to leave with this, Cam. When you think about that draft class, the 2024 NFL draft class with quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Drake May, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, and, of course, you have – Caleb Williams already said him? Jaden Daniels. I'm sorry, the guy that actually, took the league by storm last year. It really is shaping up, for all the reasons we didn't believe to maybe be the best quarterback class of all time. If Drake May is going to be a real deal, and if Bo Nix is going to be married to Sean Payton for an extended amount of time, though I do think he's a little inflated as to what he is as a quarterback, but with Sean Payton, that's the result you're going to get. Like, the most disappointing guy out of this class so far is the number 1 overall pick in Caleb Williams. Like, these dudes are actual dudes.
Yeah, man, that's a great quarterback class. I'm also thinking 2020 was excellent too. When you think Joe Burrow, Herbert, Jordan Love,
And Tua.
Tua. Tua's
Yeah.
probably the fourth guy in
JJ.
that group, and he's got a $200 million deal. But yeah, you're right. I mean, 2024 is funny because Jaden, after a rookie year, he seemed like the only one that was a surefire, hey, we're good. Now he's been banged up. Everybody else catches up, and we're like, all these guys might be good. You got Bo Nix playing well. We talking about Drake May. Drake May might have risen all the way to the top now with the way he's playing this year. And so I'm with you. I think that a lot of times we rush quarterback development. Seeing these guys, all of these guys are playing in systems where they're able to thrive. Everybody except Caleb is playing with the same coaches that they were as a rookie year. That stuff matters, which is why I'm a little bummed for Cam Ward. Like, he's got to restart. He's got to go through another cycle. So it almost is like his year 2 will be his year 1 again. And that's some of what Caleb's going through there, which is why he's probably a little behind the rest of the guys. But he's shown us sparks. They have a winning record. I think you'll see him, like the rest of these guys, continue to have a great season and answer that franchise quarterback question for the Bears and for the rest of those squads.
But J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think Kevin O'Connell, now that Carson Wentz is out, and I feel bad for him because they wore all the tread off of that tire.
Yeah, we got to see now. Like the quiet part that's been whispered around league circles is that obviously JJ has had an injury, but he certainly did not look ready in that, at least the second game. He had that one half he came back on. Everybody got excited, but the first half was horrible, and then the next game he played was really rough. And it's like, man, is he ready? And the problem is he's got to be ready. This is year 2. They've already moved on from Sam Darnold. Like you said, they already read the tread out of Carson Wentz. They had mans out there with a torn labrum, a fractured socket, man. JJ with a sprained ankle. I mean, again, I get it. You want him to be 100% healthy, but man, Carson out here going to war.
No,
and so
they owe Carson for that. They owe Carson Wentz a little extra on the side.
So that being said, there's nowhere else you can hide. We're going to have to see. And I think there is some worry about his readiness. Is he ready to be able to lift a team into a playoff hunt? But he's got to play to show it. And so this week will be very interesting. Sounds like he's going to start. And we're going to learn very soon how much of the sitting down was injury versus a guy who just may not be ready yet to compete for a playoff contender.
Get the ball to 18. That's all you got to do.
Should be simple, right? Joe Flacco's doing it, right?
It out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple. Look, if you see the gritty once or twice in the game, you did something well. All right,
right.
JJ, that's what you're looking for.
That's it.
Garrett, Wolfe, appreciate your time, man. You get back to the Dolphins facility and make sure you vet all of that out. We'll see you Thursday night, too, for Thursday Night Football.
Absolutely. Sounds good, fellas. Have a great rest of your show.